the 12th day of woke my true love send to me. 12 strikers striking 11, vegans munching 10, blacks protesting 9, Biden sleeping 8, cops are dancing 7, Greta's crying 6,000 genders the BBC. 4 Twitter trolls, 3 PMs, 2 hypocrites, and a Meghan documentary.
It's me. Hello and welcome to that was the folk that was happening. The topical quiz show. The topical quiz show that gives you the wokest stories of the week. I ask you whether they're true or false. On my teams tonight goodness me, Peter Barnes and Lizzie Cundy and Lacey Butcher and the lovely Mayhar Tousi. By the way, we don't normally have snowflakes, but we have got some here, but there are none on the actual show. And also, I've got beard in my mouth. But anyway. A mother from Newcastle has asked her son's school to ban Sleeping Beauty because it promotes inappropriate sexual behaviour and non-consensual kissing.
We know about this. They've done this before, haven't
they?
They
do it all the time. I mean, I don't think I've ever spoke about pantomimes this much in my entire life since I started doing the show.
Oh, yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
It's behind you. Oh, no. Look, I obviously think this is true because we've heard this time and time again. The woke brigade, and we're not allowed to have fairy tales.
Like, in Sleeping Beauty, it's not the evil witch or or anything like that that's the problem of it. It's apparently this non-consensual kiss, and I'm just like, if that's what you're really complaining about in this story, you just need to get out more.
Exactly.
There's no other response to it than just an eye roll and to be
Sleeping
quiet.
Beauty, presumably she had ME, didn't she?
She wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
She wanted a bit like you.
Yeah,
but
you've got to,
you've got dwarfs that then make sleep in one room.
But as Peter rightly said, it's not the domestic abuse that we're going after. It's not the paganism. None of these other
Being locked up by your parents.
Hey, by the way, I love the fact that we have got contributors on here who are young and are concerned about the rise of paganism. There's not many people defending the Christian faith.
I'm here.
And I'll be honest with you, Lacey, precious few of them look like you. We can't be honest.
I'll keep shouting about it until someone listens.
Yeah. It's like one of those American adverts. Lacey Butcher stood up to paganism. Bob Mills supported it. Paid for by Lacey Butcher for president.
The sad reality is talkTV contributors are standing up for it instead of Justin Welby.
OK, so Lizzie, is it true or false?
I think it's going to be true.
It's absolutely true. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody! I've been out and about, finding out what the true spirit of Christmas is. What is the best bit? What is the worst bit? Ho, ho, ho! Oh, and by the way, it's actually me, Walker. They won't know, though. So what are you actually going to be doing Christmas Day?
Cooking a goose at home.
A goose?
A goose.
Oh, she's a bit posh, this one. Can I ask you an honest question? Are you very afraid of me right now? Is that because of the beard or because of the voice?
The voice.
Yeah, thought so. Hello, what are you doing for Christmas?
Cooking.
Lots of cooking?
Lots of cooking.
Now, can I ask you, when you get to the 7th type of vegetable, do you not think it's overkill?
No, we love vegetables.
I remember once, one Christmas, we brought over my family and my mum did 2 types of potatoes. She did sprouts, she did broccoli, she did carrots, she did turnips. And then my granddad sat down and went, well, what, no parsnips? Oh, get out of it. What's the best thing about Christmas?
Your beard.
Thank you. Your beard's pretty good as well, mate.
Not as cool as yours, though.
Come on, let's do this.
Are we running up?
Let's do this, yeah.
Let's go.
I'll outpace you.
No,
I'll outpace you. Oh, taxi! Hello. Hi, I'm not the real one. No, the real one's working.
You're not Santa.
But the real one's working. He's not on talkTV. He's not. Listen. No, come here. The real one's in Lapland. Plus, we can't afford him.
Oh, don't do that.
Can't afford him. What's the best thing about Christmas?
That I can listen to Talk Sport all the time.
No, but we're Talk Radio, not Talk Sports.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. You're doing me over here. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. So you're a big fan of the show?
Yeah, I'm Plug of the Week, yeah.
I'm not the presenter of Plug. I'm not the presenter.
The other one.
With the,
That was the one.
I was going to say, I thought they'd specially come over to tell me they thought I was Mike Graham and didn't like my show.
Listen, is that where Piers Morgan does his?
Yeah.
Tell him Messi's the best. Just
Yeah,
tell him.
Messi's the best.
Tell him.
Are you very messy?
I'm very messy.
Let's have a look at your van. Oh no, your van's clean. It's unbelievable.
It's just that.
It's cleaner than a nun's conscience. You are miserable. Yeah. Oh look, I've ripped my trousers.
What if I? Oh.
Well, no, not because of you. It wasn't you. It was. Can you stitch it together?
Sure.
Right, let's get a sewing kit. You can stitch me together.
Kit, yes.
Just stop Santa. Just stop Santa.
Going to my daughter's.
What's she going to be doing? Cooking?
Cooking.
Oh, well, hang on a second. Are you not being a bit lazy, not cooking yourself?
Yes, I am.
Well, at least she's honest about it. What's the best thing about Christmas?
Family.
I have a friend of mine who went to an Indian restaurant last Christmas and ordered the vegetarian curry, and they made him a sprout curry.
Okay.
That is a volatile mix, isn't it?
I'm going to Spain this next Christmas.
Right now, let's go to Spain.
Okay,
Come on,
let's
come
go.
on. Just stop oil. Just stop oil. Just stop oil. Yeah. I'm a just stop oil activist. I'm going to stop you because you've admitted to being a driver. I'm just going to stand there and look. I've already ripped my trousers with that, so I can just sit there like. What's the worst thing about Christmas?
The worst thing about Christmas? Nothing, it's brilliant, isn't it?
What about sprouts?
Oh yeah, they're horrible.
Have you ever eaten sprout Mexican? That's sprouts and cayenne pepper.
No.
It's a volatile mix.
I'm going to give that a miss.
Right, come on, let's go for the train.
No,
Come on.
yeah, I'll
come
say
on.
that.
No, I'm going with you. I'm going with you. Hello, pizza man, how are you?
Oh, hi.
Now, we're going to have to do this again. What's my name?
Your name is Andreas.
Hey! Well done. Now, look, this is my favourite pizza shop, and he claimed to be an avid watcher of the show. He does know my name now, but when's the show on?
10 o'clock in the morning.
Wrong! Ho, 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 what a good-looking chap. Well, I'm off now to look at Rudolph's red nose and jingle my bells. Ho, 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 ho. The Cambridge Dictionary is changing its definition of a woman to be more trans-inclusive. Let's hope this is false.
Well, this is just.
Let's hope this is false.
Well, this is completing the journey to erase women anyway. The funny story is actually yesterday, earlier this week, we had the Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton as part of the Twitter account, the Women for US Democrats as a party, tweeting saying women power, something like that. Like, the two people who don't even know the definition of women. The organisation that don't know, at least in defence of the Labour Party, they've kind of given up on promoting Labour women. So they're just like completely given up. But I don't understand why.
But Hillary Clinton, and I, I'm not going to be the judge, jury, and executioner of anybody, but Hillary Clinton supports every single woman unless they make an allegation against her husband.
Well,
in which case she's absolutely venom.
Yeah.
I mean, she believes that, in all this, women should be believed unless you have a go at Bill. She's a giant hypocrite.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'll tell you the thing I don't
Have a go
understand.
at Bill, what were you meaning there?
I'll tell you what I don't understand about any of this. Look, if you want to promote more women in politics and you are on the political left, you just go, I'm a woman, and you've achieved it.
Yeah, and it's also the wrong type of woman, right? Because you were a young conservative at uni. And clearly you're not a real woman, according to the left.
No, but what actually scares me about this is because this is a dictionary. This is as factual. This is as factual as it comes. Now, when we start blurring the lines about what is and what isn't, the dictionary is where you go to get an outright definitive answer.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should say, OK, a woman can be anything, but a lady is always female. Or something, like make up our own language.
But it's getting so messy now. Look, Keir Starmer, you can't ask anyone, Keir Starmer, what's a woman? He couldn't even answer the question.
No, he couldn't.
It's getting so ridiculous. And, you're getting an awards, like at the Music Awards. Adele, you can't have... she even said, I'm so proud to be a woman and make it in this tough business. But it's now artist or actor or, you cannot be called a woman. Let me just tell you, 100%. I am a woman. I'm proud of it.
No, you're not.
I am a woman.
I'll tell you what, that thing's very tight. Don't worry.
Pardon? Excuse me.
What we have to remember about this is it's the entire point of woke is to remove objective reality. Once you remove objective reality, you can just say anything's anything. And that's what this is the most terrifying thing when it comes to this story. It is, like you said, with the dictionary, it's something that we could all kind of agree on. And now, like we said, this is it's going down a very terrifying path.
Wasn't it George Orwell Wiganer.
Wiganer.
Right? George Orwell, the only good thing to come out of Wigan.
All right. I'm sat right here.
Wigan's other major exports are crime, poverty and ignorance. But anyway, but George Orwell, I think, he lives in the posh bit. But George Orwell, I think, said that tyranny is where everybody lies.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not the government forcing this upon you. It's where we all lie to each other. My mum and dad used to go drinking at Lee East Labour Club, right? I'm not joking. This was the heart of where Andy Burnham was Member of Parliament. Now, as I've always said, they did not have a gender-neutral toilet, right? They didn't have an anti-discrimination policy.
Yeah.
They didn't have a trans policy. And the best bit about it was, on a Saturday night, if it was your birthday that week, you had to buy everybody a bit of food in the club, right?
Yeah.
And you had a choice, 2 options. Meat and potato pie or meat and potato pasty. Right? No, there was no vegan option. There was no pescatarian option. There was no halal option. Right? None of that.
You need to bring those days back.
Love that.
No, but those days still exist.
But the thing is now...
It's like Phoenix Nights.
Yeah, it is.
But as you said, it's causing so much confusion, anxiety and stress, you know,
Well,
and it really is unfair.
Sorry, just to piggyback off that, one thing that we kind of have to remember is that not everybody is aware of what's actually happening. It's all being done behind closed doors. It's being done, you know, nobody's voted for any of this. It's being done by people who we can't get rid of. Most people don't even know who they are. And then everything has happened probably after it's too late to stop it. That's what's terrifying about this.
We do have to move on, but I have to say, I always thought in 1997 when Tony Blair talks about the stakeholder society, always remember what that means. That means that every single decision is made by consulting the usual suspects, the trade unions, government bodies, quangos, whichever way you vote, nothing changes. Yeah. And I think we need to say about the stakeholder society that it's an abomination to democracy. And, you know, frankly, Blair was discredited for the war in Iraq. I think what's more disgusting is when whichever way you vote, nothing changes.
Yeah.
But anyway, there we have it. Not just a pretty face. Lizzie's given me the clap.
Not the only one.
Has came on fire tonight. I think what warmed me up was the hat problem. But anyway, OK, so has a Cambridge dictionary been changing the definition of woman?
What do you think? Because I really don't want this to be true.
I could totally imagine it to be true. Do you think there'd be as...
But this would change bigger things. So I would say no.
Let's just say false in hope. In hope.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is true. So Lizzie and Pete. Meghan Markle has revealed to friends that she had a crush on Piers Morgan before she met Prince Harry. Now, there's 2 ways of answering this, Lizzie. Do we think that she was just after anyone? Because, I mean, it's possible that she would have had Piers Morgan.
Well, she did want a rich British boyfriend.
Yeah.
She didn't necessarily say older.
Because Barnes was unavailable.
Well, obviously was. Nothing
Duke
would.
of Oral.
Look, I'm going to be honest here. Nothing would surprise me.
Yeah.
But I knew they were friends before she met Harry.
Yeah.
But I don't think she had the crush on. I think she always had the crush on William. To be honest, that was her crush.
Oh, so
Prince William.
The thing
Let's be honest. Not only did she have a crush on Harry, she's crushed Harry.
Yeah. But no, this is the thing. When it comes to anything that. Any kind of story about Meghan Markle, you just don't know if it's true or not. Because everything she's claimed is so far out there, most of it's been completely discredited. So when we heard...
Sorry, I'm going to stop you there, Pete. She's just telling her truth.
Oh, God.
That's my truth. That's my truth.
Yeah, my truth.
It's from Beyonce.
That's Steve. That's Steve.
Well, look, do you know what? I know this is far-fetched, but I feel it could be true.
Go on, let's go true then. I'll go with you.
I think it could be true.
It is false. I've got to tell you, there's not a lot of point scoring going on. No. You're on 1 and you're on 42. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Born in 42. No. But anyway.
Like Santa's in trouble.
Yeah.
OK, so Peter Andre has asked radio stations to ban the Christmas song "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year," claiming that some people don't like Christmas.
What? Is this still a thing, Peter Andre? I mean, these guys know I'm terrible at
Peter
trivia.
Andre, I think. He's my friend.
You would know more. What's going on with
Julia Hartley-Brewer calls me Peter accidentally on air. Right, I think every single presenter has something they do wrong. The thing I do wrong is I read out my mobile phone number all the time. I go, give us a call on 074. No. But she calls me Peter.
Yeah, because you look a bit like Andy Peters.
I'll tell you what I used to do to...
Andy Peters!
Andy Peters! I'll tell you, do you remember when Andy Peters, the only thing he used to do every year was press the CD for the X Factor? Andy Peters here in the factory. Yes, this full.
Yes!
Do you remember that?
Yeah, he pressed the go button for the
Well,
Christmas
he's done
number
very
one.
well for himself.
Sorry, what's
He's
that?
done very well for himself since.
She didn't say she was a close friend of
Oh, I've just got a text.
To be fair, I don't even know if this is true or not, but it kind of reminds me of a lot of similar stories that's been happening. One of the bad consequences of the woke culture is that a lot of people individually then try to use it for their own gain as an excuse. They're like, well, I want to ban this because it's going to benefit me, or I want to gain this because it's going to benefit me. So they're going to use the.
I mean, to be honest with you, Mayhar, I think we should ban Mysterious Girl. Oh, Mysterious Girl. I want to be pedestrian in this song. Oh.
And he's half naked all the time.
Yeah.
No, I love Peter. He is a mate. I went to his wedding. I went to his wedding.
Which one?
Which one? All of them, actually.
No, but it is the most wonderful time of the year. You know, objectively, it's when everyone comes together. It's a festive time. What now?
He feels like Christmas.
Scrooge over there.
Scrooge in the corner. I am with Peter Andre on this.
Something, as we've previously alluded to, you know, most people get something great for Christmas. Pete has to go to Wigan. I mean, can you imagine you spend all your year in Fulham going out parties like, come on, lad, come back home. I mean,
He can't even buy a proper Christmas shirt.
Lizzie.
Look, what is that?
no, tell them what that is.
Okay, so I have to wear this little bit here because the green doesn't match with the green screen.
That is a real background.
The real background.
That's
the real
where we
background.
really are. Right.
Yeah. But no, I have to admit, I do think people, you always have the problem of people going into debt over Christmas. You've got the cost of living crisis. There was some polling released just the other day that only 3% of people are actually going to spend any money this Christmas. So, yeah.
Just stop him. Hit
We
him.
all do what?
Hit him. Yeah,
Look, it's the only time of the year we can look forward to. Brings people together, families together.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to buy presents, just company and fun and a few little drinkies and joy.
Remember,
But because of Mick Lynch, I can't get to my mum.
Yeah.
Lizzie always says, well, you know what? When I were a kid, we just used to get a tangerine and crack around there, but we're not the kids.
We used to watch Val Doonigan.
Faltoon.
We used to watch
Nothing
Die
wrong with
Hard.
that. Nothing wrong with that.
So has Peter Andre banned or attempted to ban It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year?
Guess one should be false, right?
Well, I'd say true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. You're better with this sort of stuff.
I'm going to go true.
It's absolutely true. Teachers at a primary school in Kent have been caught teaching 3-year-olds that they might have been born in the wrong body.
Oh, please tell me this isn't true.
I really hope this isn't true. Because this is actually quite terrifying again, because, like I said, what's going on in our classrooms now, we'd have to have a proper discussion about this stuff. I get that schools have a kind of responsibility, they have a safeguarding issue and all the rest of it, but I don't believe that it's right that teachers are pushing this stuff, or administrators or whoever. We need to have a proper national conversation
I
about
think
it.
the thing that worries me even more, so you used to be able to kind of, you know, take your kids out of the state sector. OK, it cost you a fortune to send a kid to a private school, but we had Fleur Meston on last week, and as she was saying, actually, all the schools are at it. It's not as if this is just us going to be able to say the public sector are awful. Because actually, apparently, there's a lot of state schools that are not like that. But all the private ones are as woke as hell.
Oh yeah,
It's
100%.
very sad because it's kind of like brainwashing, and it's giving kids anxiety and stress. And my friend's a teacher over the past 30 years. It says now they've got so many counsellors in school because of these issues that are put into their heads.
I've got a very good friend of mine who said his 7-year-old daughter came back from school. Now, look, at the end of the day, she's a 7-year-old, so, you know, she might not necessarily have the best level of analysis, and I'd make that a serious point, but she felt that actually the lessons about trans were pressuring them into becoming trans. She felt that.
Oh,
now, at the end of the day, what I would say about a 7-year-old is, she's got no dog in the political hunt, right? She doesn't know what's going on.
I think that's the point, is it's undue stress and anxiety. It's not necessary. They're bringing it out of nowhere and putting it on children who necessarily don't understand what these words mean. The thought hadn't even crossed their mind. Why are we complicating things to a point where...
Well, actually, I saw Jordan Peterson. He was talking about a lady who was saying that she'd removed all the guns from her house because she didn't want her son to grow up violent. And apparently... the woman got very upset because the kid was getting his toothbrush and shooting the cat. Now, what Peterson said is it's because it's his natural instinct to hunt, right? Yeah. And so all you're doing is you're actually ruining his life by teaching him to be something he's not.
But again, it's again exposing that accidental hypocrisy that, for example, a liberal parent like that has, because they are stopping that kid from not becoming violent because it's inappropriate for his age. Yep. But they're gonna, again, maybe not the exact same parent, but those sort of parents would take the same kid to the wokest pride that you could find, where they're gonna have all this stuff very degenerate, very graphic stuff that, again, for a 7-year-old is too early.
It is.
That's the problem.
It is. Let kids be kids. I mean, I saw them all on the protests, parents bringing their children, and it was just like this. Why involve your kids?
There was that video that circulated from one of the gay pride marches where there was a 7-year-old twerking. Yeah. And you think now look, at the end of the day, I'm going to say something honestly about those parents. They're just idiots, right? I don't believe that they're actually any sort of offender. No. But at the same time, how stupid is it to behave like that?
100%. It is totally irresponsible. And as a mother, I would never do such a thing. And I
wouldn't let your 7-year-old twerk.
No, I wouldn't.
I'll be honest with you. I think that's kind of a minimum.
No, but I just let kids be kids. Yeah. Do you think?
I think it's true. But one thing I will just say really quickly is it may actually be one of the good things to come out of COVID is thanks to kids having to study at home and parents being at home, a lot more of this stuff is starting to come to light now. Yes. So it concerns me about how long has this actually been going on and completely unchecked by parents who had no idea that this was going on at the school. It might actually be one of the few good things. It's not just here where we hear these stories. Like in America, it's like every other day we hear about some kind of dodgy teacher.
But I had a conversation with Mike Graham. Now, I think it's fair to say that Mike Graham is no snowflake. Right? I mean, that man is not going to join his local Lib Dem focus team anytime soon.
He's a hero.
But he was saying that, and at the time, I don't know how many years ago this was, he was saying that he had a 15-year-old son who had a trans kid in the class, and they all got into the changing rooms together and all this sort of thing, didn't care. Yeah. And he said, to be fair, he said the kids don't appear to care, and I just wonder whether they're brainwashed or whether they've just got more important things to worry about.
But look, if you look at the attendances of school haven't really gone up that much since COVID. Yeah. And a lot of parents are schooling from home now and think they'd rather school them themselves than be at a school where they can have these ideologies.
But the problem is with homeschooling is this. It's all fine if you're rich enough to not be two working parents. Yeah. But actually, I just feel like COVID was just, made the poor poorer and the rich richer.
Well, yeah, and we've got an epidemic now of mental health. Oh, God. Especially in the young.
We were talking, funnily enough, Barnes, me and Maya were talking to a guy who's an environmental health officer at a major hotel chain, and he was saying that Chris Whitty was warned about that strep outbreak because kids are not hanging around with each other anymore. They don't have the immunity.
Yeah. Which
anyway,
is really well, we think...
I think sadly it's true.
Unfortunately, it is absolutely true. And shame on them. Yeah. OK, so that's 40 points. Right, so the NHS has said taxis will replace ambulances during the paramedic strike. Now, before I say anything, you know what amazes me about all these public sector workers? Yep. They sit around and they go, you need us, we're vital to this country, we're going on strike. You think, well, I mean, if it were true, and I don't know, if it were true that a taxi can replace a paramedic, then let's just do that.
Well, that's the thing. Two quick points. One of those jokey is about the taxi thing. We live in central London, just generally London, or anywhere actually at this point. You can't find taxis anymore. So somehow there are taxis to be paramedics, but you can't find a taxi. Second point, which is more important, a couple of days ago when they started it, especially outside London hospitals like St Thomas's and all the others, we've seen footage of nurses and doctors and everybody else doing their very serious protest and striking by dancing and singing, and there are literally sick patients in the building waiting to be treated. It's just a bad look. Put aside all the differences that we have, cost of living crisis, the politicians being crazy. That's just not how you do protest. If you're really serious about your cause. Dancing and singing, really?
But I do think that's where the serious undertone comes of it. You only enter that profession, you only become a medical, in the medical profession, a doctor or a nurse, because you actually care about the individual. You don't do it for the money. Heck no, we know that, clearly.
That's true.
Sorry, Lacey, it's further I disagree with you, but go on. I don't think... I think the public sector has become remarkably self-indulgent. Hey, and by the way, I'll tell you something else that I was only thinking today. You know, we're all going, we need to get out of our cars and get onto public transport. And OK, that might be better for the environment, but you are handing power over your country to Mick Lynch.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And Mick Lynch said, Christmas doesn't start till the 24th, till Christmas Eve. And that just shows he has got no idea because of the effect it has on businesses and small business. And I walked through on the strike the other day through the city. Pubs were empty. I went in and the landlord said he'd lost 100 sittings. And does he not realise the knock-on effect of what it has on livelihoods?
But it's Christmas every day for Mick Lynch and the trade union fatties.
The army are getting really annoyed about this because they're the ones that have to keep being called in. And I think it's the chief of staff to the army. He said, we're not a replacement. Like, he said, this isn't our fight, I think was the headline or something like that. And it's one aspect of this that we don't really talk about, is that we just expect the army to keep filling in. What were they called, the Green Goddesses? Where the fire service, when they went on strike. So that was something else they got to fill in, and then it's something else, and it's something else. Eventually, the story's going to break the camel's back, and we're going to be in a bigger sorry mess than we're in right now.
The army are the last beacon of hope and stability because a lot of them, the younger ones, are on £22,000 a year, and because they serve the crown, they serve the actual country. They don't complain.
The NHS has said that taxis will replace ambulances during the paramedic strike. Is that true or false?
Sadly, I believe true.
OK, let's go through.
It is absolutely true! 135 points. OK, money-saving expert Martin Lewis has recorded a cover of Band-Aids, Do They Know It's Christmas? It looks like it will be the Christmas #1. Now, I have to say, I'm going to make this very easy for you because I've actually heard this. And you know what really sort of upsets me about this country at the moment? They are obsessed with the famine. Right. First, we got told that we were going to have a Brexit famine. Then we were told that we were going to have like a COVID famine. Now we've been told that there's going to be a cost of living famine. Right. Look at me. We're not starving to death. This country is not starving to death.
I was going to say, so I know that this is done in coalition with the Trussell Trust, who do all the food banks in the country. And it is actually quite a good idea because we have seen an increase in the use of food banks. But you have to be very careful when we talk about food bank usage because the stats can be a little dodgy here and there.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, it's a difficult time of year for anyone, and it's a time for overindulging. But of course, there are going to be places that are always going to suffer. But going back to the Christmas #1, I would be thrilled if it's going to be something other than Lad Baby. Apparently, he was meant to be. Lad Baby, is that the word?
Oh, Lacey, I've got some bad news.
It's done with Lad Baby.
It's
done with Lad Baby. It is.
It's Martin Lewis and Lad Baby. We just didn't put it in the quiz. No, I have to say, Lacey didn't know the answer to this, and I think she now has to get 40 points, especially simply because she has actually just denounced it, even though she didn't know what it was.
Well, I'm now utterly heartbroken. But no, I mean, you will remember the days when it was the X Factor winner who would always get the Christmas #1 spot. And well, I was going to say, thank God it's not Lad Baby, but
I remember the X Factor. What they used to do was they'd get them all in. They go, right, guys, I'm sorry, you're going home. And Westlife have written a song, especially. What about now? It was my dream. It was my dream. I got to go back now. It was my dream.
They were different times.
Different times.
Different times.
I love Westlife.
You've got James Wales is going to be #1.
Yeah.
He's got the talkTV Christmas single, which you've got to listen to. It's amazing, and I'm in the video.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what?
one of your friends.
One of my friends.
Do you know what? As if by magic, we've got a clip. Take it away, James.
Listen up, lend me your ears. It's the holly and the ivy time of year. It's nice and peaceful in the studio till a bunch of carol singers try to get on the show. I say, hey, merry gentlemen, cut the ding dong, and I'll teach you the words of a different song. You won't catch me giving Christmas cheer. Now sing the song. Let's hear it. Overeating, over drinking, and a circus on the telly. On Boxing Day, have the relatives round, have a family fight, then just hit and run. I won't have a stocking or a Christmas box. I won't have a crib with an ass and an ox. I'm not gonna drink from your wassailing cup. Knock it off, pack it in, and wrap it up.
OK, that's got to be Christmas number one, and it would be if it had actually been released. Six police officers have been reported to bosses after starting a snowball fight at Stoke Newington.
Can I quite clarify? They get reported because while they were doing a snow fight, they accidentally arrested someone. They actually hit actual criminal. For once, they actually arrested actual criminal.
When I worked at the House of Commons, I got into trouble because we had a snow fight on the terrace once, and I nailed John Prescott in the face.
You didn't.
You know what we did was we all waited, right? You know where that tent is, the marquee?
Yeah.
Right. We all waited there, and as MPs came out of the door with the pints, we got them.
What happened to the pint?
What happened with Prescott was the snowball fell and then pinted him.
Oh,
so that's quite nice.
I wouldn't have messed with him. He can give quite a punch.
Yeah, but to be fair, there was an appreciable distance. I mean, I don't think it moves that fast.
Yeah.
In fact, Prescott's like a tank. He's got the heavy artillery, but he's slow.
Yeah.
Those little legs.
Yeah.
It's quite a difficult one, this story, really, isn't it? Because at one point you don't want to be a bit of a stick in the mud and say, oh, the police need to be more serious and all the rest of it. And then there is the other side of it where you're saying, like, oh, people, like, police don't turn up to burglaries till, like, 2 days after. But, yeah, it's because they're all too busy having snowball fights. That you've got to try and find the balance in this.
Do you remember that great story years ago where there was a bloke who phoned up the police and he said, there's somebody actually in my back garden and they're breaking into my shed and going to steal my bike. And then the police said on the end of the line, well, there's no police available. So he put the phone down and thought, I wonder. Picked up the phone again and said, don't worry, I've shot him. he said there was a helicopter, 5 cars. Actually, I saw that at Salford Police Station once. Somebody walked in and went, you've had a go at my wife. I want to make a complaint. And they went, there's nobody to take the complaint. He went, let's find out. He pulled his cigarettes out and started smoking and threw away the no smoking sign. There was 8 police officers.
That's hilarious.
That's a key point because it goes back to what you said. It's not necessarily just the police and their reaction to events. It's also the police management and the regulators because, yes, technically it's not a good look when they do something like that. It's just like how when they dance around with their rainbow unicorns and all that. But they would get into trouble for certain other things, like the snowball fight, but they won't get into trouble for misconduct when they go knock on someone's door and they misbehave just because someone tweeted something mean, and they actually then take it to a next level. It's no longer appropriate in terms of the actual response, and then nobody actually holds them to account.
But Lacey, look, are we too harsh on the police? I mean, at the end of the day, the vast majority of them are not the idiots that are high-fiving with Extinction Rebellion. And the police officers I know, you know, when they glue themselves to the motorway, the protesters, they would just rip their hands. They wouldn't. They just know they wouldn't be allowed.
Well, I have great respect. Both my parents work in the police.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do they do?
My mum is like that really cool person that teaches policemen and women how to drive really fast at 200 miles an hour, but do it safely.
All right.
If that is possible.
I've got a friend who's the sergeant of the police unit on Road Wars.
Okay.
Remember that? Pinky and Perky driving around slow.
So I have huge admiration for them. And I know they're having a real hard time with upkeep and actually trying to get people to join the police force. But you always hear about, you know, just people in Little England wanting to see bobbies on the beat and whatnot. It's just a bit of a light-hearted story, isn't it? I mean, come on, it's Christmas, it's snowing. We never get snow.
Do you know that police officers are the people most statistically likely in the United Kingdom to accidentally shoot themselves? Right? And also the people statistically most likely in the United Kingdom to put petrol in a diesel car. Now, actually, well, I can understand that.
I can understand
Where
that,
do you get
actually.
these statistics from?
Well, they weren't in the same place, those two. There's no general report.
There's a shootout at the petrol garage.
I'm just saying,
garage.
I live in the countryside and we miss the bobby on the beat. Yeah. We really do miss the bobby on the beat. And they used to know your name and say hello. And it used to stop crime. And police have stopped being police.
They knew Lizzie's name from the lineup. But actually, on a serious note, I mean, I missed the police houses because I mean there was a real intelligence gathering, admittedly low level intelligence gathering element to the fact that the local police officer lived down the road and drank in the local pub.
Well, yeah, and then he'd hear news if there was some mischief, if someone was up to something, because it would be local and people would say, and they had that, you know, they were confident going and talk to him.
I had a friend of mine who was a detective in the Greater Manchester Police, and he said my hometown of Lee, he said Lee is just the most ridiculous place. This is Lee up north, not the one in Essex. And he said he went to the Lee police station and he said, right, we've got to interview this bloke under caution. And they went, yeah, just go down Eagle and Child pub and ask for him. And they went, look, well, that doesn't work. So he said he walked into the Eagle and Child, which people in Lee will know, and went, look, can Iggy come down police station tomorrow to be nicked? Yeah, we'll tell him when he comes in. He said, I arrived the following day thinking, this bloke isn't going to turn up. And he turned up on time to be arrested. And he said, do you know what? He said, Lee is like the 1950s. It's unbelievable. Right, OK, so 6 police officers, have they been reported for starting a snowball fight?
Yeah, it's Britain, of course they have.
It is true! Of course. I have to say, the good thing about this news, it's not yet clear that they're in real trouble.
No.
So I'm quite pleased about that. OK, so to Lizzie and to Pete, following his appearance on Have I Got News For You, Mick Lynch is to appear on the Christmas special of Celebrity First Dates. I thought he should go on. I think he should go on Stars in Their Eyes, as Right Said Fred. Mind you, do you know what they call them upstairs? Far Right Said Fred. Do you know what? I spoke at the event and Right Said Fred were in the audience, and then my next door neighbour, or one of them is, they don't live together obviously, and I go, look, I want to say hello to my next door neighbour, Right Said Fred. I'm deeply dippy about your vaccine status, which I thought was an excellent joke.
That's not bad for you, actually.
What do you mean? That's very good.
That's not bad for you.
That is at least Bobby Davro quality.
But
we love Bobby. But listen, we've had Matt Hancock in the jungle. I've already said he's got an ego and he wants to be a celebrity, but I just don't think. I think it's too soon for him.
I think it is. I think you're right there. But no, this is the thing with people like Mick Lynch and the woman from the Royal College of Nursing. I can't remember her name, but these people seem
Miss Rebella.
Yeah, these people seem so like hellbent on kind of soaking up the limelight, being in the headlines. They absolutely love the attention. They'll all say, "Oh, I'm representing my members." No, it's not. They're becoming celebrities. They're becoming the powerful ones. Yeah, I mean, and that kind of power for the people like that is a very dangerous combination.
This is what I don't understand. I mean, I actually quite liked Al Murray when he said that the reason he ran against Nigel Farage, and they were going, he's only doing it as a publicity stunt because he wants the limelight. He went, yes, because I'm a comedian. I mean, at the end of the day, none of us are sitting here because we don't like the attention.
Yes.
Right? I mean, let's be honest. Right?
I can't speak for myself. I hate pictures, cameras, anything like that.
Oh, no, I'm going to tell you a story about the Cundy. Right? I got one of my very first shows on a Saturday, filling in for somebody, and they said, Cundy will do your entertainment news. Oh, and I'll tell you what, I opened up the Daily Mail the following day and it said, Lizzie Cundy arriving at her new show.
I don't write the headlines, darling.
Also, she wasn't arriving because she had her back to the door. So what she'd done is, she'd walked up to News UK, seen the photographer, turned
That's
round,
a lie.
and then...
Don't fib, that's a lie. That is a big lie.
Come here. This is... Here he is. Here's the pap.
This is our producer's friend.
Now, what makes me laugh is she's brought him again.
He happened to be there, didn't you, Chris?
I just happened to be there, yes.
See, there you go. He happened to be there.
So we've got to know Chris now because whenever the Cundy's in the building, he just happens to be there. Oh, what a surprise.
Now, let me just tell you something. though. Sorry, Chris. He was outside. I gave him some warmth and a cup of tea. It was very kind.
He's not there when you're not here. When you say, I do not invite a photographer to wherever I go, why is it that wherever you go, he's there?
It's just what happens in my life. It is Carry On Cundy. Honestly, they just follow me.
Also, you say you don't like attention. You always wear shiny and sparkly clothes.
Well, I'm so sorry. I wasn't going to wear the talkTV...
What's wrong with talkTV?
No, nothing. Their Christmas one, because you'd worn it previously and it had a little smell to it. So I thought I'd wear my own.
Stop saying I stink. Right.
Anyway, can we just continue with the answer?
You falsely claimed I was flatulent last time.
Well,
Right, you falsely claimed that I stink of curry. Although, to be honest with you, I wear that as a badge of honour. I stink of curry.
What is this show?
Now listen to this. I think it's too early for Mick Lynch.
I think it's too
we
early.
will see him in some sort of celebrity show.
Well, I don't know.
But I don't
really,
think it will be yet.
It depends if the kind of trade unions win the fight. If they suddenly the government is able to kind of crush this, he could just disappear off the face of the earth with complete embarrassment.
I'd love it if he was on 10 years younger. Yeah. Oh, no, naked attraction.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, there's a terrible thought.
This goes back to the strength and weakness of the political ideology of the left in general. They usually win the battle of ideas. They overall win. Yeah. Because even if they don't win in the ballot box, they always, basically, they're infiltrating the culture and the media and everything else. But their weakness is when they make the individual figures and leaders big. Yeah. It's so rare that they stay up. They bring him down themselves. So Mick Lynch, it will be the worst thing for him and his own movement. Even if it works, if he goes on some sort of reality show for 5 minutes, it will fall badly.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you.
I agree with that.
I don't think he's going to do it.
But I don't think, I think you're right, yeah.
You are absolutely right. It is false. Well done. The Duke of Sussex pub in Chiswick has created a new beer called Harry's Bitter. It's weak in flavour and has a touch of ginger.
I pray more than anything for this to be true.
Is that going to taste good, though?
No.
I don't care. I don't care. The ingenuity that went into that, I think, if they haven't made it, they absolutely bloody should have.
This is also classic, quiet Britain, because Chiswick. Of all places, Chiswick.
What goes on in Chiswick? I'll tell you what, I got into a load of trouble. I got a load of locals kicking off because there's a pub near my house that changed its name to the Prince Harry, and I tried to complain that it hadn't got planning consent, and literally people started turning up on my door calling me all sorts of names, and it was apparently. It wasn't because they particularly liked Prince Harry. They were just concerned the landlord would have to buy a new site. And
don't forget, we've got his book coming out, haven't we, as well?
I think if you look at the front page of Spur, it does look like Neanderthal Man, doesn't it? Yeah. They've literally got his face and mirrored it. Yeah. It's completely fake.
They've renamed it Gone with the Whinge.
Hey. By the way, it's already half price in WH Smith's. I think it'll be in the bargain bin at Macro by June. Yeah. These beers, they're all called funny names now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like leopard scrotum.
Neck oil.
Yeah.
How does the leopard scrotum taste?
Lovely. Absolutely fantastic.
But my worry is Harry's not that popular after that Metflix, let's call it. So I don't think that would be a very popular...
to Meghan, because she can just divorce him, can't she?
Yeah.
Move on to the next one.
He's gone more.
I mean, actually, do you know what? That's a little bit unfair because, they do appear to have lasted much longer than
everyone thought. Yeah, it's true. But no, I think you're right there, Lizzie. If you look at all the kind of the polling that came out after the Netflix thing, they're more unpopular in this country than they ever have been. But you have to remember that everything they're doing is not to be popular in this country, it's to be popular in America.
Yes.
That's what all of this is about. It's not about setting the record straight, it's so that they can be celebrities in America. Yeah. Once you understand that, you can just ignore them. Yeah. But that's the entire point of them now.
I was watching a documentary last night about Edward and Wallace Simpson, and I have to say there's a great deal of similarities. So obviously, one of the things, as you know, Edward was claimed to be a traitor. I don't think that's true of Harry, but there was a huge element of I'm walking out voluntarily, and now I'm going to spend the rest of my life being angry and resentful to you for having done it to me.
Yeah,
and you think, well, but you've left the royal family, you've abdicated.
I feel she's trying to bring down the monarchy, and as you said, she's hardly been there, and how has the monarchy been around over thousands of years?
Lizzie, I disagree with that actually, and because somebody persuaded me the other day when I was doing a show on talkTV, and they said actually she doesn't want to bring down the monarchy because that's the cash cow.
Yeah,
right. She has to have them there permanently limping on because it keeps her relevant.
Yeah,
and I actually think there's a lot to be said for that.
I think, as you said, she wants to make her political career in the States.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this I call it Metflix, has backfired hugely, not just here, but over the pond as well. And she's not popular. And It's not going to work.
Yeah.
OK, so has a pub in Chiswick created Harry's Bitter?
What do you think?
True. It has to be.
I mean, because it's Chiswick, it's so specific, I'm going to say true.
It has to be true.
No, it's false. It was in Fulham. No, it's absolutely true. 86 points. OK, so it's now a tie-break, and this is decided. Noddy Holder and Slade earn 1 million every year from Merry Christmas, Everybody. Now, I will tell you one thing about Slade. They invented a whole new type of singing called shouting. Are you into Christmas music?
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Big
What's
time.
your favourite?
Waitress's Christmas rapping.
What?
Niche.
It's the one that goes fast, isn't it?
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Oh,
yeah. I missed this one. Yeah.
There's a song called I Want to Give You One for Christmas. Yeah. It's about presents.
Yeah. Do you not find, though, that we keep going back like 30, 40 years now for Christmas songs?
Well,
like, there's not, I suppose, like we said earlier about X Factor and stuff like that, they just killed it off.
But Peter Kay made one, didn't he? I think it was called Over and Over Again.
Yeah, Geraldine McQueen.
Yeah,
character.
And actually, it was bemoaning the fact that there's no Christmas hits.
Yeah. Actually written by Gary Barlow. It's a fun fact.
But you can't beat Last Christmas, can you?
Yeah, that's my favourite.
Yeah, I love it.
But George Michael only does more big Christmas songs as well.
OK, so, I mean, it's a huge amount, £1 million a year. We know the song does well, but is it true or false that Noddy Holder and Slade earn $1 million a year from Merry Christmas, Everybody?
Yeah, I think it's true.
It is absolutely true. Yes, you won the deciding vote. Congratulations. So
Well
huge
done.
congratulations to Pete and Lizzie for winning. But also big thanks to Maya and to Lacey. Look, this has been an amazing year for That Was the Woke That Was. And we want to thank you for watching, and we want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. Hopefully it's been an absolute blast, and we'll be back very, very soon. But until then, Merry Christmas and goodbye. Get to the pub. Get to the pub.